Hey guys, Matthew Zachary here, live in the Stupid Cancer Studios with another new exciting episode of the Stupid Cancer Show, and we are joined here today by the one and only Caly Bevier, who you may or may not know won America's Got Talent with the giant buzzer. Is that how that worked?
Golden buzzer, yeah.
The golden buzzer. Simon Cowell was crying on the air.
He was.
It's a really big deal. Why is Caly on the show? She is a teenage cancer survivor who is really making waves and rocking up the system. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer at the age of 15 years old, and she's here to tell us her story, talk about her miraculous recovery, what she's up to now, and how those pipes keep getting better and better. Caly Bevier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. So, I guess
15.
15, yes.
High school.
So, it was the summer going into my sophomore year, and I was on vacation in Orlando. I had been wearing my bikini quite a lot. My parents noticed a lump in my stomach, and that lump had been growing there for probably about a year and a half.
Wasn't Taco Bell.
Well, yeah. What I thought could have been Taco Bell wasn't Taco Bell. At first, I honestly thought it was like abs because I was a cheerleader. I was constantly practicing, constantly doing workouts.
You were swole, was it?
Yeah. So it started out small. And then after probably about a year, it started getting a little bigger. And this might be TMI, but I feel like people need to know just for their own safety.
Yeah.
But I thought I was constipated after a while.
That's TMI?
I mean,
you could have gone much worse than that.
And then, so my parents saw the lump in my stomach and immediately set up a doctor's appointment for me back in Ohio. And I went to the doctor. She gave me a pregnancy test, which I didn't know she was doing that. She just had me pee in a cup. And I was waiting in the waiting room for probably about 20 minutes.
Right.
And then she walks in and she's like, she crossed her arms and leaned back. She kind of looked annoyed almost.
Yeah.
And she
Damn, you're not pregnant.
Yeah, no. Well, she thought that I was.
Yeah.
So she walks in and she tells me, she's like, "Well, you're pregnant."
She did tell you?
Yeah,
pregnant?
she told me I was pregnant,
wow.
straight up. No, it could have been nothing else. I was pregnant. That's it. Yeah. My dad's with me in the room, which makes it all the more worse.
Oh, fantastic. Not awkward.
Yeah, no, it was so awkward. I didn't even know what to do. I was just listening. She just kept talking. I think she started talking about, the next steps to take. Yeah. A 15-year-old being pregnant, there were multiple options. And I was like, wait, no, you're kidding, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you're pregnant. And, I knew I wasn't pregnant. I had never had sex before. It was impossible for me to be pregnant.
No immaculate conceptions
going
on in Ohio.
I told her, I was like, if I'm pregnant, I'm having the next baby Jesus because it's impossible.
No way, yeah.
And she's like, well, the only other thing it could be is a tumor or a cyst on your ovaries.
Right.
And so to myself, I was like, well, that's what it is. And she's like, okay, well, the next steps are blood work and an ultrasound because she still, had that thought oh, it's just her saying that she's not pregnant because she's 15. And, so we went and got blood work and an ultrasound, and ultimately the ultrasound showed that it was a tumor. Then I got the tumor removed, and it was 5 pounds. It was this big.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Talk about great weight loss strategy.
For real. I seriously though, after the surgery, I felt so much better because I looked at my stomach. I was like, oh my God, it's gone. It's gone, that lump. And then they biopsied the tumor, and it ended up being cancerous. And so then I started getting chemo immediately after that, and I went through. But
that's impressive. You went from diagnosis to treatment fairly quickly once she took you seriously.
Yeah, she took me very seriously. It was I had dysgerminoma, which is a germ cell form of ovarian cancer, and it was a form that she had not. My oncologist had never really worked with before, so she called doctors in LA. And immediately.
What do we do with this girl?
Yeah, exactly. And immediately we got what we had to do. I went through 3 rounds of intense chemo. It was 3 rounds every 3 weeks. It was super quick, but it was super intense. But I also think that I was lucky in the sense that it was only 3 months and it was in and done.
Right.
And so.
I mean, I've seen your reel. You've been singing since you could probably crawl or walk or whatever like that. So, where were you in terms of your early career in high school when this happened to you?
I mean, I'd always liked to sing my whole entire life. In high school, I never really got anywhere with it. I was just in choir. I had tried out for like the school plays, but didn't
Yeah.
get big parts. I tried out for this Annie in 6th grade. I didn't even get a part at
No?
all.
Ah.
So I wasn't really anywhere with it. I
Mhm.
had never taken like vocal lessons, and then after it was probably like they told me I was in remission August 28th, and then within those next few months, America's Got Talent called us and asked.
They found you?
Yeah, they found
It's
me.
because you didn't get the part in Annie that they found you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, how they found me was I performed. I sang Fight Song at this kid's benefit.
Yeah.
And my dad recorded it. The video went super viral.
Yeah.
Ellen saw it, and I
I
was.
hate when Ellen sees my stuff.
Oh my God! I know,
Ellen,
it's so,
come on.
It's so annoying. No, so Ellen calls, not Ellen, but like her people.
Yeah.
Her people called my people, which were
Yeah.
my parents at the time.
Your people.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I was on her show, and then I was on AGT. Kind of in that same time frame, they called me, and I had never like thought about trying out for a show like that before.
Right.
People had always been like, "Oh, you should try it for Idol. You should try it for this and that." And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna get anywhere with this. Like,
Well, we're going to put a link in the description below to your Ellen show.
okay,
And when you got on America's Got Talent. So we get this all the time, but you don't look sick.
yeah,
Comment. You walked out on stage with this great little bob,
mm-hmm.
because it was finally starting to grow back. You lost
Yeah.
your hair. And they're like, what a great little haircut. You're
Yeah.
like, thanks, chemo.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I would have never chosen to go
Yeah.
short, but I really did love my hair short. I'm growing it out now, but
That looks great.
thank you.
Yeah.
And
But you sang your heart out.
so yeah, I sang my heart out, and Simon
you sang
Cowell.
Fight Song, right?
Yeah, I sang Fight Song. And Simon Cowell gave me his golden buzzer, and each judge gets one golden buzzer a season, and it sends you straight through to the live shows.
Of all the judges, he's the one.
I know.
The toughest, Mr. Simon Cowell out there.
Literally, when I went out on stage, like, the only judge I was, like, worried about impressing was Simon. I was like, if I can impress Simon, like,
And you
I'm
did.
good. I'm
And
golden.
You did, yeah.
And I did. And
then it rained down on you. It was
yeah.
amazing. And the video, again, we'll put a link below. What a moment.
It was... everyone asked me, like, what were you thinking during that moment? And, like, I don't know what I was thinking.
You can't possibly remember what you were thinking.
There's just so many emotions, I guess, going through me.
So we met about almost like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget how I met Chris, but we discovered you. And we were like, well, how do we make this amazing young woman aware that she's part of this community you didn't ask to be a part of, but there's so many teenagers with cancer and so many teenagers who had cancer as a kid that just need someone to look up to.
Yeah.
And it's not the how did you do it, it's I can't believe you're here, maybe I can be here too. So you've kind of been sort of thrust into this like spokesperson universe. You've sung at so many cancer conferences and fundraisers and benefits, and you're out there doing a whole bunch of stuff. So I remember we had invited you to come sing at our annual conference, CancerCon, in 2016. And it was your first real introduction to your community. It was not a fundraising crowd or a donor crowd out there. Can you tell us a bit more? And again, we'll put a link to Caly's song that she sang in Denver for us below. What was it like for you to walk into that room for the first time and see 650 of your peers?
It took me like back because all the events that I go to are normally like older people. And I never really like been in a room with a bunch of people my age or around my age who had gone through the same exact thing, and it was just like I felt like I was at like almost at home, as weird as that sounds, like a bunch of cancer kids.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I'm glad that we all were able to find each other through stupid cancer, because I think that we need that community. And like when a teenager is going through cancer, none of their friends can't really relate with them, and it's hard to find that group of people who you can like talk to, even if you don't want cancer to be a big part of your life, you still need to talk about it sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And
but there are people who hope you talk about it if they're the right people to talk to.
Exactly. And I think there's
how are you feeling today? That junk, that crap.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But yeah, I think it's good to talk, and definitely people who are going through their fight.
Yeah.
I think it's good to talk to people who have survived and who have made it out
For sure.
of that dark tunnel, and found the light, like
you had told me a while ago, and I think this is very telling, and it's not uncommon for teenagers, and I say teenagers with cancer, not teen cancer. Apparently this teen cancer thing is such a label. We don't want to be teen cancer. I mean, I wish I was teen
Yeah.
right now, but doing a teen. I was 21. I wasn't a teen survivor, but you had talked about how this process matures you, unwittingly matures you, and you may or may not find yourself at the same sort of social or intellectual level as your friends from high school now, and that can be a real challenge. You want to talk about that briefly?
Yeah, it definitely is.
I mean, I'm sure you love your friends, but
Oh my
still, it's a
gosh.
very different
Yeah,
conversation.
it is definitely different, and it's not even in terms of like talking about cancer in that way of maturing you, but I just feel like it takes you away from everything that doesn't really matter,
Right.
and like it really makes you realize things that do matter.
Right.
Like the little things in life matter, like the little drama and like stupid little silly high school things or things with your friends that let's say someone was talking about you, like stupid stuff like that doesn't matter, and like I don't know, you just realize. I don't know how to even say this. Can you edit this? Are you editing this, or is this live?
Should I edit this?
I don't know.
We'll ask the crowd. Click below if I should. No, I'm totally kidding. No,
Okay.
just say what you want.
Okay.
All the more reason to not edit this.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like it takes you away from the stuff that doesn't matter and really thrusts you into the stuff that does matter. But it also like makes you realize the little things in life, like the sunrise.
Yeah.
Or the sky. Like my mom always used to point out the sky to me, and I'd be like, Mom, the sky's the same every single night. But now I look at the sky every night, I'm like, holy, like, this is beautiful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, things like that, and, yeah.
Are you working on anything specific? Or your website, Caly Bevier?
Yeah, Caly Bevier.
Bevier, and it's Caly. Is that short for something?
Callista.
Callista, not Callista Bevier. Caly Bevier. CalyBevier.com. And you've been in the studios. You've been working with some really notable folks.
Yeah, I've been working with, I mean, if you guys know Katy Perry, if you know, like, Zayn.
Yeah,
all
we're
those,
name dropping right now here on the show.
Name dropping. But, you know, if you know those people, I've been working with, like, their producers, their writers, people that are more behind the scenes. And I've been working on some really great music. I can't wait to get it out.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Thank you. Yeah, one of my songs that we're really looking at releasing soon is called Head Held High. And
like
it is definitely a anthem-y song. It's about, you know, coming out of a dark period and coming out with your head held high no matter what.
So this is a platitude question, but people like when we answer that. What is your message to the next teenager diagnosed with cancer in high school?
This is what I always say. It doesn't have to do with being a teenager at all, but it's even when you are physically weak, you have to be mentally strong. And being mentally strong, you know, regardless of all the drugs and all the everything that medicine that's getting put into your body, I think a strong mental is really what's gonna get you out strong, and it's what's gonna help cure you in the end. Because if you're like sad and if you're depressed all the time, that's gonna feed into your sickness even more.
Attitude is everything. Well, I can't thank you enough. By the way, happy 18-and-a-half birthday coming up.
Thank you.
Proud of you. I love you folks. Hello, Mom and Dad. Missy and Adam, right? Missy and Adam
Missy and
Bevier.
Adam.
Yes, Ohio. OH.
OHIO.
I learned to do that once.
Yeah.
But again, Caly, you've been a sport coming down here to Stupid Cancer, coming on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, Caly Bevier, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Stupid Cancer Show. Bye-bye.